Hi all, and welcome to the OCR Nationals Unit 8. Today we're looking at AO3, which is e-commerce, and I want you to understand what e-commerce means, what the different types of e-commerce sites are, and also how e-commerce has influenced and sort of brought forward our society. So here goes. Here's a couple of different types of e-commerce sites. We've got everything from supermarkets to banking, auction websites like eBay, and also the Compare the Meerkat down there, the price comparison websites. A couple of different types just to get your brain jogging on the fact that it's not just buying and selling on the internet, that you do have services that are offered that would count as e-commerce. So keep that in the back of your mind. And so what are the differences between the habits that we have now and the way that we shop then compared to the 90s? Well, I'm sure you can all think of ideas that spring to mind. So here's a couple of keywords and nothing more to get you started. Some of those you may think, traditional, no computer, this is what shopping meant to you. Well, it's changed quite a bit, and there's a video from CNN back in 1999 about the dot-com bubble, and it's a short clip, and I guess the bubble is less relevant now as a research piece in terms of current trends in e-commerce, but the history of it's clear that if you invest millions into an online company without a business plan, or I guess any company in fact, but it's a lot easier online to conceal your issues if you have them as a business, you'll lose a lot of money and quickly. And this is what the report was going through. I'm not going to play all of it now, but you can see 1999 sort of graphics. The new economy, will the boom, will it end? And they talk about the interest rates and the fact that they're not going up, even though the Nasdaq, the American stock exchange, was year-on-year growth during that period. We'll look at that in a sec, but do watch that video up until the point where he's talking about Amazon here and how could Amazon possibly be a market leader from 1999 carrying forward. We obviously know different. So the dot-com bubble, the boom in the 90s couldn't continue, and you can see year-on-year growth for the Nasdaq. And on March the 10th in the year 2000, centre here, the Nasdaq Composite, the stock market of North America, peaked at double its 1999 value, with the publicly traded internet companies worth about 8% of the entire US stock market. The bubble burst, with venture capital running dry for the startups. InfoSpace went from about 1,300 a share in dollars to $22 a share just in 1 year. That was the dot-com bubble bursting. Not all internet startups were of traditional shopping sites, but some were. Boo.com, the online fashion store, went from about $188 million in worth to bankrupt. It's absolutely huge. So this was happening for many different websites, and as I said, internet startups, as soon as the money was gone, there was nothing they could do, and they'd lose a lot of money. So it took a while for the Nasdaq to recover, and this is the growth it should have seen, and this is excuse me, the growth that it saw during the dot-com boom. I picked up this book a couple of years back, and it still holds place at the back of my classroom, so feel free to sign it out and borrow it if you need to. It's called Leaving Reality Behind, The Battle for the Soul of the Internet, as it originally called, and it looks at the highly publicised battle between eToy and eToys.com, notice the extra S there, for the right to the eToy name. Now, eToy being an art site and eToys being a multi-million-dollar toy corporation, and the book investigates the internet as a commercial machine or as a cultural phenomenon, and it harks back to the ideology of Tim Berners-Lee, the creator of the World Wide Web, and his vision for the web as open and free. And this is why, I guess, Berners-Lee campaigned so strongly, testifying in some patent cases, including the 2012 case of the US patent trolls claiming to own rights to any interactive features of a website, or American ISPs, the internet service providers, looking to end net neutrality with draconian traffic shaping. Yeah, I did just use the word draconian, didn't I? Excessively harsh or severe traffic shaping issues. Back to commerce specifically then. The high street, keen to get involved in the scramble for space in the online world, has been slow to create websites that match up to the retailers already well versed in internet technologies and content delivery. Up until recently, most retailers hadn't embraced this Web 2.0 idea of technology to sell their products. The lack of jQuery or other advanced JavaScript libraries making their websites clunkier and harder to use. The delivery systems for the high street, though, are traditional. Often that's quite an advantage. They've got brick buildings in most towns and cities that can cater for a collect-at-store service or allow you to reserve products online and pick them up in store. I guess the latter doesn't encompass e-commerce, the idea that they can pick them up in store as a transactional service, where customers can buy a product and the product's delivered to them. But I guess there's a key area where the high street has the advantage over the traditional online shopping, as high street retailers stock their stock computers are as up to date as possible. So in my previous life, when I worked at retail, I had a first-hand knowledge of the idea of a DOS-based system, which was running updates to the stock to central computers on a nightly basis, which is no good for the fast-paced online world where customers want to know there and then whether a product is in the store and whether it's in stock and what conditions it's in and what time can they pick it up. Argos is a retailer that supports the Reserve Online feature. It can pick up in store, and judging by its effectiveness, this is easy. Well, Argos's multi-channel sales represented 1.9 billion. That's about 48% of Argos's total sales in 2011-2012. Their total internet orders, including the check and reserve system they've got, comprise of 39% of Argos's total sales. And there's the source if you need that. Online delivery. There's actually a couple of these already in Bristol, and no doubt more will appear when other online retailers catch on. The Amazon Locker, if you already don't know what it does, allows you to pick up parcels that you've bought off Amazon, and you can store them in a secure location. Staples next to Cabot Circus has got one. No more parcels getting lost in the post. You know when your bits are going to be delivered, and you don't have to wait in all day to get them. So this is one of the key problems with online shopping, the idea that delivery of items, and Amazon, I guess, has taken steps to alleviate this by introducing the locker. The reverse of the high street, I guess, going online is that online retailers are coming to the high street. In Christmas 2012, the sales of high street retailers actually grew by 1.5%. Though internet sales did grow by 18% year on year. So lots of reasons for this. You might want to explore that as an avenue in your AO3 e-commerce research. Nearly there. I won't go into too much detail on this slide, as I think we've covered a lot of this already. And actually, the point of the research in this AO is that you find some websites which deal with e-commerce day to day. But obviously, these e-commerce sites don't have to be British or .co.uk in origin. In fact, many of the sites are now based abroad, so this Deal Extreme one that I've got here, I've used previously to import some electronic goods, and as you can probably make out in the top left-hand corner here, hopefully you can see my mouse moving, otherwise it's the orange bit that says free shipping to Great Britain from America. So it does make prices very competitive. There's Alibaba as well and AliExpress that allow you to bulk buy almost any item and have it shipped to you anywhere in the world. And that's fast becoming a key player in the online space of large shipments. So, what do you need to do for this AO? You need to research e-commerce and explain what it is. You need to give a range of examples of e-commerce sites and what role they play in the online space. And you also need to give a detailed explanation of the changes e-commerce brings with the real-world examples. Have a go with that. See what you can come up with in terms of e-commerce. Do get examples of sites, but also explain what it is and explain the changes e-commerce has given in terms of social and media. Off you go.